Hello, 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 and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing really well. It is actually the night before I'm going to be filming this video. So this video is going to be what my one-year-old, what my toddler eats in a day. My son is actually, I think like as of today, just over 17 months old. So that's pretty huge. I don't know how the time flew that fast, but we've gotten into a really solid eating rhythm with him, I feel like, and I thought it would be fun to film this video. So tomorrow I'm going to show you what he eats on a typical day, but that means that tonight I actually need to do a bunch of meal prep. So every Sunday night, sometimes Mondays, depending on how life works out, once a week that is, I will do this kind of bundle of meal prep, I guess, and it just really helps to set me up for success for the rest of the week. And I thought I would quickly show you what I'm whipping up today. I've already started taking out a bunch of my ingredients. So these are things that just help make breakfasts, snacks, lunches, not so much dinner, but every other meal and snack throughout the day. This helps make them much easier, and it just helps Ro stay balanced. I find that his diet plays a huge role in his overall mood. So that is why I always prioritize the meal prep. So the first thing is something I actually did a little earlier today, but I thought I would take it out and show you. All it is soaked oats. So I like to do steel cut oats just for the extra health benefits. And all I do is I soak it in organic whole milk. This is 3.8% milk, and it's literally that easy. I just dump, I don't measure anymore, but I would say this is about 4 or 5 tablespoons of the oats, and then all I do is I pour in enough milk so that it covers the oats. And already, I think I did this about 4 hours ago, the oats have already soaked up so much of the milk. I might even add a little bit more before I go to bed tonight, but that is it. That's all you do. And soaking the oats just makes them easier to digest. I can leave a link in the description box down below where you can learn a little bit more about that. But I've noticed a big difference in myself from soaking the oats. So it's just something I like to do for Ro as well. So this isn't a lot. He normally has this, I would say like 3 or 4 mornings a week, and all I do to cook it is I take like a tablespoon out of here, pop it right into a pot on the stove, and then I just cover that with enough water to like cover the oats in the bottom of the pot. I bring it to a boil, then I let it simmer probably on low for about 15 minutes, and that is it. That's as easy. It's as easy as that to cook it. Sometimes I'll add in chia seeds, maybe some raisins or fresh fruit, sometimes some nuts, really just whatever I have on hand. Cinnamon makes it extra delicious. But yeah, that's a go-to. We do this every week. Sometimes I'll use this as well and pop a tablespoon into a smoothie, or just also have some cooked oats with him in the morning. That's done. Gonna pop that back into the fridge. So the next thing I'm whipping up for the week is a batch of, well, I just call them like protein-packed pancakes, but all it is pancakes with hemp hearts, which I keep up here. So I'm gonna grab these. Just a side note, these are things I use constantly in a lot of Ro's food to add in extra protein and extra goodness. So it's nutritional yeast, hemp hearts, chia seeds, and then coconut flakes, just because I find that he loves them and I can add them to a lot of things to make them tastier. But for now I'm going to grab my hemp hearts. So all I do is whip up some basic pancakes. Right now I am using pre-made pancake mix because it makes my life a little bit easier, so I'll take it. I like this because it's like no nonsense. There's no added weird stuff. It's literally just flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt, which I'm into. And then all you do to whip it up is a cup of this, 3/4 of a cup of milk, 1 egg, and a tablespoon of oil. I used coconut oil. And then I'm going to mix that up and then add in probably like 3 or 4 heaping teaspoons of hemp hearts. So here is what my batter looks like, and I'm just going to cook them up as I normally would. I have my pan preheating here, and while they're cooking I'm going to get started on my next recipe, which is just a prune paste. And I use this in so many ways throughout the week. And I make this every single week, and it's awesome for keeping Ro regular. And it's a really great way to sweeten things and make them a little more appealing for him. So it's like a double whammy. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just going to take this package of pitted prunes, and I'm just going to pop them into this bowl and cover them in water and let them soak for 30 minutes. Okay, here are how the pancakes turned out. You can barely even tell that they have anything in them, so I feel like this would also work for an older, maybe slightly more pickier child as well, because it just gets a little bit of extra protein into them. Anyways, I'm letting these cool, but then I'm going to store them in between sheets of parchment paper, just in some Ziploc bags in the freezer, and all I do to warm them up is pop them in the toaster. It's that easy. Okay, next up we're making these little like cereal bars, I guess is what I'm calling them. You can probably hear the oven clicking. It is preheating behind me, so I apologize for that sound. Anyways, these are just a base of rolled oats, mashed up bananas, and peanut butter, and then you can add stuff in to make them more fun if you want to. So I'm gonna add like cinnamon, a little drizzle of honey, and some chopped up dates. If you were a real fun mom, you could obviously add like mini chocolate chips. I'm sure that would go over super well. Ooh, maybe mini chocolate chips paired with mini marshmallows. Oh, how stinking delicious would that be? I am not that fun of a mom currently because I'm still trying to hold off introducing a lot of sweets, like artificial sweets to Ro. So I feel like the minute he goes to daycare, that'll just totally get away from me. So until that time, the dates are my chocolate chips. All right, here is what my little mixture looks like. I just mashed everything up with a fork. It was super easy peasy. And now I'm just going to pop it in and press it down into a little pan that is just lined with parchment paper. The oven has been preheating to 350 degrees. And it's as easy as letting it bake for about 25 minutes. And then you just let it cool and cut it up. Okay, so while those little cereal bars are baking, I am going to get going on my prune puree. So these have been soaking for a while now. All I'm going to do is transfer them over to my food processor, and I'm just going to fish them out with a slotted spoon. They definitely look a little strange, but if you can get past that, this is a great thing to make. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of the water that they were soaking in. I'm gonna start with 4 tablespoons. So that is all of those prunes and 12 tablespoons of that water, all pureed together. It's as simple as that. I'm just gonna store it in this IKEA container in the fridge, and I normally use this up within 5 days. If on like day 4 or 5 I know I'm not going to use it in time, I will section it off into a little silicone ice cube tray and I will freeze it, because then I can just use those little prune, like those frozen prune cubes, and pop it into oatmeal, and that way none goes to waste. Okay, the dishwasher is going, so you probably hear that, but here are what my little oat peanut butter and banana bars look like. I've just let them cool and chopped them up, and I'm going to transfer them over into this guy. I'll probably eat this one tonight, a little corner piece. But yes, normally Ro will eat probably 2 of these in a day, and I just pack them when we go on our walks, and they are great healthy snacks, and they're actually quite sweet, so they're very much a treat for him. Okay guys, good morning. It is a little after 6:30. Ro and I have been up for about 15 minutes. He just finished a bottle. We still do a bottle in the morning, like a warm bottle of milk. He gets about 120 mils. It's really mainly just because it's still part of our routine, and it's kind of like a comfort thing, and maybe even more so for me than it is for him. It's just nice to have that morning cuddle with that warm bottle of milk. well, it's still a little dark in the world, I don't know. So it's definitely not necessary, but it's just something we still do. I'm just cooking up breakfast right now, and that should be ready in about 20 minutes. It just takes a little bit of time because I am cooking the oats this morning. So the steel cut oats, even when they're soaked overnight, they still take a little bit of extra time to cook. So just a note. Okay, so this is what breakfast has turned out like. This is pretty typical for us. So it's just the steel cut oats cooked like I described in the clips I took last night. I do have a dollop of my date paste in there, which I'll mix in. There's a little bit of coconut flakes and chia seeds, which again are just from these 2 jars up here. I find those so handy. The eggs, as you saw, I just baked it in that dish. The dish was just coated in a little bit of coconut oil. Threw in some spinach, and I've cubed it up, and then I just sprinkled some nutritional yeast on top. Sometimes I'll do cheese, it's just whatever I feel like. Today I felt like nutritional yeast. And then it's just half a kiwi and a handful of blueberries, and normally he'll eat almost all of this. So we'll see. And I'm gonna fill up his water, and he'll have water with breakfast. Okay, so breakfast is done. This is how much he ate. And he had about this much water, if you can see that. And not too much ended up on the floor, so we didn't do too bad. A blueberry, 2 pieces of egg. I feel like that's about it. Oh no. 1 more blueberry. Okay, so it's almost 8 a.m. and I am just getting us packed up to go for our walk. So we go for a 5K most mornings. The weather is beautiful today, so we're definitely gonna go. And it takes us about an hour and a half on a good day. So packing up snacks is really important. I'm gonna bring his water. And then I always bring a pouch just because they're good to have. I am bringing 2 of those little peanut butter oat banana date bars that I made. Just a side note, these little containers from Elk and Friends are amazing. I use them for everything. They come with like this type of lid, so you can just use it for food storage, but they also come with this kind of lid that can be used like on its own as a little sippy cup, or you can also pop in the straw that comes with them as well. And we are just over the moon about these. We bought like the big pack of them, so we have them in lots of fun colors. But yeah, these are just like so beyond useful. I use them for everything. So those are coming with us. He'll probably definitely eat these and the pouch. And then I always bring some Cheerios, and I always bring a little like toddler rice cracker. Okay, it is 9:49. We are back from our walk. All he ate were the like the little cereal bars. So those are all gone. He ate both of them, and he drank most of his water, which he is currently finishing in the living room, and that'll be it. He'll just sip on water for the next 45 minutes until we start lunch. Okay, so it is about 11 a.m. and I'm just starting to whip up lunch for Ro. We eat lunch with him at around 11:20, and then with like reading books before nap time and like, you know, cuddling to sleep, he's in bed for nap time by like 11:45, and then he normally naps for about 2.5 hours. We're trying to push that nap to like 12:30, but we're still in the process of doing that. So 11 a.m. and lunch is being made. I am keeping it super easy today, and I'm gonna do a little mac and cheese, but I have a little hack that makes it a little more protein packed, I guess you could say, and a little bit healthier in my opinion. So this is just the pasta that I'm using, and then instead of butter and milk, I use like a big heaping teaspoon or tablespoon, sorry, of sesame tahini, and that's kind of like my butter. And then instead of milk, I just use a big scoop of probiotic yogurt, and then of course I'll add in some shredded cheese, but that is kind of my little toddler approved homemade mac and cheese hack. And then I think to keep it easy, because he is already starting to fade, I'm just going to chop up some strawberries, and that might be lunch. Okay, so here's what Ronan's lunch is looking like. I ended up adding frozen peas and carrots just for a little bit of extra veggie, and yeah, this smells good. This is actually really, really yummy. I would eat this myself, and I probably will end up eating a little bit of this. with him at lunch, and then he's just going to have a cup of cold whole milk. So this is probably a little over halfway full, and he won't finish it, but he'll drink a good amount of that at lunch as well. So I'll show you how much he actually eats in a little bit. Okay, just to show you how lunch is going. He ate all 5 original strawberries. He's now working through another 3. He's eaten most of the pasta, but about halfway through he decided that peas and carrots were a no today. Not feeling them, hey? Heck no. But yeah, we're loving the strawberries, and I think you've had about half of that already. Ro is still down for his nap. It's only 1:09, but I just baked the most beautiful loaf of bread, and I wanted to document it. So here she is. Okay, so we are doing little rice bowls. It's really easy. I'm just gonna whip up a pot of basmati rice, and then I'm also going to make little salmon patties. I'm just using canned salmon, and just one little can. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but Shawn and I and Ro, it's more than enough. He normally eats 1 or 2 patties, and we probably eat 2 or 3 each, and I can normally get 7 or 8 patties made from 1 can of tuna. So this is just the Rain Coast wild pink salmon with no salt added. Skin and bones are in there, and I use it all. The bones give a little bit of extra calcium, so that might gross some people out, but it ends up being really, really yummy. Again, the recipe for those salmon patties will be in the description box down below. They're super duper easy. So it's just gonna be like a bed of rice, the salmon patties. I'm going to toss in some black beans. I'm also going to fry up some frozen corn with some smoked paprika and sprinkle that on there as well. Avocado will be in there. I'm going to make a lemon cream sauce to drizzle on top. And then the other thing I'm gonna do, these are going not bad, but they only have like a few days left. So I think what I'm gonna do is just chop these up small and then toss them in a little bit of salsa just for a little bit of heat for Shawn and I, and then Ro obviously will just have a few regular chopped up tomatoes. But I think that is going to be dinner. This is one of my go-tos. It's so easy and it's so yummy, and it uses just like pantry staples, which is always handy. Okay guys, it is 6:58 p.m. exactly. I just put Ro down to bed, and that is that for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I did forget to get a clip of what his plate looked like after dinner, but he ate like 1.5 of the salmon patties, and then like, it's hard to tell how much rice and beans and stuff he gets because I let him, like, he just scoops it up with his hands and like palms it into his mouth, so it gets very chaotic and messy, but I feel like he got a good amount. And he always has fun with meals like that, even though they're really messy for me to clean up. It's worth it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful at all. If you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your beautiful day, and I will see you in my next video, which should be up next week. Bye guys.